What's going on, everybody, and welcome back to another Dark Avenger comic book review. This is in video form because it is late, and that's due to Labor Day. That's due to the release of Destiny. That's why this review was pushed all the way to Thursday. Monday, like I said, was Labor Day. Tuesday, we have Frontline Live, so there was no way for us to record on Tuesday night. And then Destiny dropped yesterday, and I was streaming it on Twitch for most of the night.
And that's Destiny 2.
That's right. But the good news is it was a very light week. It was a very, very, very light week. It was the 5th week of the month, so we got some annuals. We got the conclusion to the Marvel event, Secret Empire.
And some books that were eh.
We had some books that were eh, that is true. And then we also had some independents that were really good. So,
and some closures, too. With last issues.
Closures. So,
yep.
Without further ado, let's get into it.
Yes.
So, the books in this review were released on
August 30th, 2017, the last week of August. And we're going to start with the digitals first.
Now, I want to couple, I would like to couple two together. Angel, Season 11, issue number 4. That's one issue right there. Angel is, as you guys saw, they were stranded at sea. Angel, and they were fighting those possessed pirates. We get a lot more of that. We find out that there's an island that not only Angel and Fred made it to, but an Illyra, because Illyra does jump in on this story, but Angelus, and I keep forgetting that woman's name that's with them, are also on that island, because that's where they escaped to, and they end up getting into a fight, and they have to work together, because they have, like, the common enemy, which is the infected, and then Illyra sends them away to the future, or to a future point in time, but it looks like Angelus is following behind. So it'd be interesting to see if Angelus joins this traveling through time thing. All right, and then we have also Buffy the Vampire Slayer, Season 11, issue number 10. The fight continues with Buffy. I'm still in the middle of reading towards the end of this book. I'm enjoying it. It's one of those books where right now you've got the government dealing with, they have the satellite that they're putting up in space, and it's going to sap all of the supernatural powers out of all of the supernatural in America, and they try to avoid it, they try to stop it, they're trying to figure out a way to stop it, and now they do figure out a way towards the end of the book, and it's going to involve everyone with all hands on deck. I'm enjoying the series once again. More of a casual read for me. I still have to read the last couple of pages, but I got the gist of where the story is going and leading into the next issue. My favorite book from the Independents this week, one of my favorites, there were a couple actually, Go-Go Power Rangers issue number 2. I really liked it. My one complaint is, and they do label when they're doing a time skip from before and after Day at the Dumpster, which was the day that the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers came into existence, or when the 5 got their powers. My one complaint, though, was at times you would jump from the middle of one point in the future to another point in the past, like they were talking as a group, or Jason and all the others were coping with what Jason did at the end of the last issue, and then we would jump back in time to where Matt, who was apparently a mutual friend of the other 4, introducing Kimberly as his new girlfriend. And of course, apparently there's some type of animosity between Trini and Zach with Kimberly. Apparently she did something to be called the Salad Girl, which they think she's crazy. They want her to set things right. So we don't know what the whole story behind Salad Girl is. I'm sure it'll be explained. But it keeps jumping forward and backwards in time with the before and after the Day at the Dumpster. I'm enjoying it, though. I'm actually pleasantly surprised with the book. I really am enjoying it. So I'm definitely sticking with it. This was a book I wasn't expecting to enjoy.
Right.
Go ahead. I'll be right back.
So, for this week, got some books. We're going to start with Justice Inc. The Avenger, Faces of Justice, issue number 2. This was my least favorite, least book of the week, because, to be honest with you guys, I mean, from what I heard from Frontline Live, the reason why, first of all, the dialogue was so long, and I could not really understand the book or what it was talking about. The only thing is that the Avenger was brought in to be questioned in jail. Then we find out the woman was like her or something. And then the reason why I could understand the book was because there were things that were connected with the book, like different series and stuff like that. So I don't think I'm going to be picking up Justice League The Avenger anymore, just because I didn't see the other issues that followed that issue, which is why I couldn't understand the book. However, Robotech issue number 2, this was a pretty good book. I am continuing Robotech to see how this book is. And it's actually really interesting. We get some more about the space adventures. You have the captain who's in space, who's trying to get out with the generator. And the mission of them is to try to get... No, not the generator, the vessel. To get the engine to start up again. And the artwork was great. And I'm talking about Robotech.
No, I know. I'm looking at the other one.
The artwork was great. And the story was also good. It's just that the ending part that they couldn't leave, because the vessel or generator was destroyed and lots of other stuff happened around there in between. So it's going to take them a little bit longer for them to get home.
I really don't. Let's not stick too much on this, because this is...
don't worry.
I will say this. Go ahead, show what the book is.
It's Savage Dragon, issue number 226, and yes, it is President Donald Trump.
Now, see, here's what I don't like. I don't like when writers take their political views and put them into comic books. Now, when, for example, George Bush, Obama, Clinton even, when they were presidents, you'd have, like, whenever Superman would look at the president or go to the president or whatever, you'd have those people, like, you'd have a look-alike. They never said the name of the president, but at the same time they look like it. I have a comic with Superman where it looks like Bill Clinton, one that looked like George Bush, several that looked like Obama, because Obama was during the New 52. And there were several times that Superman went and talked to the president, and it looked like Obama. Never did they stick their political views in on any of the people I just mentioned. Now, I know this past election has been very, 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 very controversial, and the controversy...
Over a year almost now.
And the controversy continues. At the same time, though, there should be a fine line, especially when it's a known title like Savage Dragon, where you don't put your political views in. There's plenty of room to make a political comic about it if you want, but don't... If they did that with any book, like in Marvel or in DC, I would feel uncomfortable reading it.
In this issue, though, they made him look like that he doesn't like the aliens, and in this case, the alien is Savage Dragon, meaning look like different from other people. But in this issue, though, you only get like one page about how he talks, and everybody's like saying, "Oh, this president, he's awesome! Like he's doing everything, and he's the best president there is, and all that."
That's sticking his political views.
Right. But I'm gonna get off of that. So while Savage Dragon is trying to do his mission of police duties, his wife and his kids, his kids are causing a little bit of ruckus with the people. And like saying like, hey, like these people are bad people, and they're like aliens and stuff because they're attacking us and whatnot. And then it turns into a whole controversial thing. And then the policemen were going against Savage Dragon because he was not a person. So they attacked him, but then Savage Dragon defended himself. But here's the thing that gets really messed up, though. At the end of the issue, Captain Stewart comes in the end and says, "I'm sorry, Savage Dragon, but because what you did, you are under arrest." So just because he defended himself that the police officers attacked him first, he still gets under arrest for attacking back at them.
I don't know.
And he's a policeman also. I mean, I understand if you're not a policeman and if you attack a police officer, then yes, that's a crime or something. But he's a policeman and he was defending himself and they attacked him first. So why would you get him under arrest when he's a police officer? Duh. Just because he's an alien?
Again, this is crazy. This book, I wouldn't read this book just because this is Eric Larson throwing his political views in. And while I respect everybody's point of view, I'm not a political person. I truly and honestly, it impacts us all, yes, but at the same time I stay out of it, and I'm not sharing my political views with anybody because I have no political views. I read comic books, I deal with things in the internet world and with my family in general. I could care less who's running the government because everybody's an idiot in the government. But anyway, this should not have been in a main indie stream comic book. This should have been in an Elseworld. This could have been in a random, specific book. But to have it in your main series, that's like if Superman did it. I would feel really uncomfortable reading that story.
All right, well, let's go into something else now. Excuse me. Faith in the Future Force, issue number 2. So this comic was actually pretty good. We have Faith, who has the Harbinger team, I think that's what they're called, that were together, trying to get rid of this, I call it the toaster monster thing, because basically, the only thing that bothered me in this issue is that they keep going with Faith back in time, like, and then the girl saying, come with me if you want to save the world, but that was a little bit different. Because they lost against him, the Harbinger team, they set up a team with the Valiant Universe, with Exo-Man of War, Ninjak, Eternal Warrior, and so on and so forth. Even that other team that you like, the Quantum and Woody, they're on the team too. So it's going to be now the Valiant Universe with Faith that are going to go up against him. And yes, Exo-Man of War in his suit. Not the now, in his suit. So I'm really looking forward to seeing the next issue. The concluding issue of Rapture, issue number 4, was a really great conclusion where it's really Shadow Man that's going up against Babel, because Babel said to him that I will get rid of the LOA if you join me, because that's what Shadow Man wanted to be, a regular human being. And since Babel didn't give it to him, they wind up fighting each other in like spirit forms and stuff like that. The girl helped out a little bit, and then Babel lost, and now Shadow Man is just going to be still who he is, basically accepting it and stuff like that. So, all in all, it was a really good issue, but I felt like it was more the focal point on Shadow Man other than Ninjak, because it says Ninjak Shadow Man. I felt like this issue was more focused on Shadow Man. In this case, I could be wrong, you have different opinions, that's fine. But my opinion felt like it was more on Shadow Man. But it was a great series nonetheless. Spirit Hunters, issue number 10 of 12. Only 2 more issues left for this to conclude. And basically, it just talks about Ellen wants to take off from her job because of... What?
Nothing.
Oh. Because she's been seeing too many ghosts and everything. So she takes off, meets a friend, goes to a play, and then still sees ghosts. So she's still doing the investigation even though she's on vacation. She gets a whole... Oh, God. What she doesn't go through in this Ellen... And I thought that Vera was bad. Ellen got it worse than this with seeing ghosts. So, but I guess she's going to take more days off then. Yeah. Alright. Ghostbusters 101, issue number 6, which I did review on Comic Frontline. And this also concluded the Ghostbusters 101 series. And I actually really liked it. It's just Ghostbusters teaming up with the Answer the Call Ghostbusters, which are the female ones. That they take out this ghost from the other dimension, and then they get it in there. But now they have to get rid of gigantic holes in the sky, so they have to cross streams. And when they did swap universes, but then everything got fixed in the end. But however, it is in the end, though, because the Ghostbusters will return when they cross over, and they didn't say this in here, I heard it from him, when they cross over with Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, and that book I am going to definitely get, and you should join with me.
No, I'm getting it. I'm reviewing it for this show. You can review it for Frontline.
Oh, that doesn't make sense, then.
Oh.
I don't know then. Alright, so we're going into the these. You should get Trey Pad back to Ghostbusters 101. Really liked how they teamed up with Answer the Call Ghostbusters.
Yes. I'm just sad that the next ongoing is not going to be with the right team.
Well, that's...
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. We got 2 independent physicals. TMNT Dimension X, the final chapter. This leads into issue 74 of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. They get the last planet. At first, Hacker thinks he's made it to the planet. He's killed the witness, but it turns out the entire planet is connected. So all of them have seen it. But the thing is, no plant can leave the planet. However, the planet rejects abnormalities. And there's this one plant that is considered an abnormality. So it rejects it, and it goes with the turtles. So the book basically ends saying to be continued in TMNT issue number 74. Apparently, Krang has a communication with Hacker, and they're talking about the witnesses. Apparently, Hacker left out that the other 4 witnesses survived as well. Well. Saga issue 46 had a lot of emotional hits in it. So, they made it to the doctors. We know that Prince Robot came back. He ended up saving... Perichor, if I could say her name right, Patricior, And we have this wonderful heart-to-heart kind of talk between what's her name, Hazel and her brother, and it was very emotional. And then there was a real big twist with Prince Robot, and obviously the baby was taken out of Alana. It'd be a cool twist if the baby survived, but then there's a twist at the end with Prince Robot and Petroia. So, and if you guys remember way back, and I believe it was the first arc, Prince Robot was always curious about homosexuality because he was watching gay porn at some point. So I'm wondering if Petroia or Patricia, whatever her name is, Petra, is like his go around. Like she looks like a girl, but she's really a guy. I don't know.
So we have one digital book for me this week, which was DeadPool, issue number 35 from Marvel. And just to make this really short, it's just DeadPool versus Maria Hill. Maria Hill goes after DeadPool because of the whole killing thing about what's been going on. And she's been going on a killing spree, kind of like the Punisher. But he wants to actually... She wants to find out information about Blackout. And DeadPool gives her the information, but he wants to join a fight with her. Because he knows that she can't stand a chance against him, or them, or whoever it is. So he tries to follow her and everything, and then the ending was a little bit of a thing. And his daughter really isn't fond of Hydra, and I wonder why. And you know, I mean, I know why. I was just being sarcastic there, but it was an okay series. I'll just see what goes on in the next issue. But he was just. The ending was kind of a little ish. Alright, physicals now. Starting off with Jean Grey, issue number 6, where Jean Grey encounters with Doctor Strange. What will happen in this issue? Well, I do have to say, some people said that the artwork was kind of, and it sort of was in some areas of the artwork, but the story was pretty good. Like, it's really... I love how they're dragging out that even though, yes, Jean Grey's meeting up with her Phoenix self and everything, but they want to drag the story on for her not to turn into the Phoenix. And that's what I like about this story. And she keeps going back in time, you know, with the whole Scott Summers.
Oh, wow. They really went through all of the...
Yeah. You know, messing with her head, with Phoenix, or Jean Grey breaking up with Scott, where Ember Frost interfered. So it was really testing her with her memories and stuff like that. And the Phoenix was being more murderous than Jean Grey. So Jean Grey is now trying to find someone else to go to. And I think she's going to be encountering with the Scarlet Witch in the next issue. So will Scarlet Witch help out? I don't know. But I like what Dennis Hopeless is doing in this story. Of dragging it out just so that she doesn't turn into the Phoenix.
He's dragging it out because they gotta wait till after the end of Secret Empire.
Right, and that too.
X-Men Blue issue number 10 starts a new story. We have Jimmy Hudson looking for answers to where he came from. You got Beast on the cover doing magic. And then we find out that Beast, the voice in Beast's head, first of all, we find out that him and Gazing Nightshade are boyfriend and girlfriend, kind of. But we find out that the Demon Queen from a previous story arc in the all-new X-Men is actually his mentor and helping teach him how to do magic. And we find out that he's basically whining once again that, you know, he used to be the top of the class. You know, it wasn't just about his abilities. It was about him being the smartest. And now that he's, you know, in the future where technology's taken leaps and bounds and he has nothing to be special about anymore, magic was the new realm to kind of... for him, something new that he could tackle to be on top again. Danger is pushing Iceman to go even further, which I don't think anybody cared about. What I cared about was Magneto and Polaris. Magneto wanting Polaris to stick around, so this way if he ever does somehow fly off the handle, because he sees all this stuff going on with the mutants, and he's like, I need somebody to challenge my strategies to keep me level. Then we get to see a little bit more of Scott and Jean, the possibility of them getting... closer again now that they're mentally linked. So that fight with Emma Frost might have actually brought them closer together. But the thing is, Jean has a interest in Jimmy, and I have a feeling they're going to play out the interest with Jimmy first, and then I think this is Cullen Bunn's little hint that at some point Jean and Scott are probably going to find their way back together or back to each other. And then, of course, we find out that Henry's been possessed. Demon Queen, or the Goblin Queen, ended up creating the XMen, which are magical beings based off of the X-Men, and Beast is one of her followers. So now Henry is Beast, but I wonder if he's going to stay in his Beast form, or when all is said and done, he'll end up back as in his human form, because we all know that the Beast at some point takes over and he becomes full, like the blue-haired Beast. Now I wonder if, because he's dabbled in magic, he's going to become this Beast instead, which would be interesting. Generations Hawkeye ×2, past and present. And in this issue, I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the back and forth with Clint and with Kate. This obviously is setting up for, as Kat was telling us on Frontline Live, Clint and Kate's adventures together in the Hawkeye book, which actually makes me want to go check out Hawkeye again. I'll start checking it out digitally first, and then we'll see if it'll make it into trade. It will not make it into physical solo series. But I did like that Kate tried on Clint's mask at some point. It was funny, and her explanation to how she got there was kind of dumb. I'm surprised Clint kind of fell for it, but they're on this island, and of course it's all thanks to, what's his name? Oh, God. Swordmaster? Swordsman. And Swordsman set this whole thing up in order to get Clint to work with him again, because he has an obsession with wanting his creation to be, working with him. So, in the end, things kind of get set the way they are because of Swordsman and the person he worked with. She said, "You'll never give up with your obsession, so I'm ending it for you." Kate kind of opens up really deep at the end of this book, and it was really nice. It was really emotional. This book makes it into the second place spot for Generations. This book definitely sets up for... Now, a lot of people are saying Generations is basically showing us how great the past was, but how much better the present is. I disagree. This book right here showed us how Kate and Hawkeye would have, and Clint would have been back in the past, when Clint was the pink or hot pink wearing, purple wearing Hawkeye, and it sets us up for their teaming in the Hawkeye series moving forward in the future. So I'm looking forward to that. Issue 10, it's finally over, Secret Empire. And it ended exactly how we all figured, especially after Marvel kind of spoiled it by giving us the return. They showed us the return of Steve Rogers. They just didn't show us how. And I have to agree with Jay. There were a lot of plot holes in here. I mean, Captain America basically wipes the floor with the Avengers. He won. The whole world was being turned into a Hydra-led world. And then in walks Sam with the last piece of the Cosmic Cube. And he's like, you know what? Hail Hydra, here you go. And you're telling... And I agree. Steve was one step ahead of the Avengers this entire time. Now, I know he believes Bucky's dead. So this plan that Bucky had, it logically speaking, it does seem like a smart Trojan horse, but, Cap could have questioned it. And I have a feeling there might be a what if, because, every event's had a what if. I have a feeling that Marvel's planning a what if Steve Rogers didn't trust Sam and instead didn't put the Cosmic Cube directly into his suit and fully combine it. But anyway, Sam, it's a big trick. Ant-Man and, oh my God, why did his name leave me? Bucky end up going into the Cosmic Cube. Bucky ends up saving the real Steve and bring him and Kubik back. Kubik fixes everything that evil Steve Rogers has done. And then, of course, we get the return of Captain America, which then leads into the ginormous fight between the real Cap and the Hydra Cap. Now, I have a feeling Hydra Cap is going to become the new Red Skull. Also, we get a little bit of a quick glimpse of how Steve Rogers as Hydra Cap picked up the hammer, and obviously that was changed. Kubik had changed things back. And basically, in the end, evil Cap was taken down. Good Cap won. The world was set back. We get one panel explaining Generations that Kubik gave a choice group of people the ability to go back in time and learn a lesson in the Vanishing Point. They come back. Avengers assemble. The world is safe, and then the world is once again at peace. Yada yada yada. And then we get a recap with that dude from the very beginning of the series that was an Inhuman. He goes home. They end up fixing his house, and hope has been restored. And you see a kid playing with... See, this is what I don't get. If the kid's playing with Sam Wilson, Captain America, Sam is about to become the Falcon again, and Cap, you know, the regular Captain America, Steve Rogers is about to become Captain America again. So, an event that went full circle for nothing. And as everybody said, you know, before we go into that, 1 minute, there's not that many left. As every Marvel event has been, it started off really strong. I enjoyed it up to issue about 3 or 4. Things started to fall into a, okay, let's see where this goes. And then as we came towards the end, the thing I noticed I was saying was this could have been done in less issues, number 1. Number 2, the ending was predictable and everything went and got set right back. Just like we were saying, Cosmic Cube fixed everything. And I did find out, I thought they didn't bring back Black Widow or Rick Jones. They had to have, because on a cover for one of the Marvel books that come out in the month of November, Black Widow's on the cover. So unless they're going back in time and doing a, you know, earlier tale, this is going to be Black Widow alive. So obviously everything that happened in the series was undone. So in the end, it just basically set up for a Captain America relaunch with just Steve as Cap and not the Hydra Cap. The Hydra Cap was explained off, and he'll probably become the Red Skull. We still have to read the Omega issue, but I think that's exactly what's going to happen. Hydra Cap is going to become the new Red Skull. I think this was a way of eliminating the Nazi Red Skull and replacing him with the Hydra Red Skull. We'll have to wait and see in the Omega issue.
Alright, so now we're going into DC. And we start off with Red Hood and the Outlaws Annual, issue number 1. And in this one, our good old friend Dick Grayson, Nightwing, is in this comic book. And first of all, I gotta show the artwork. The artwork in this book was drawn really amazing in this book. Right here. And it's just talking about, you know, the Outlaws being in a circus act, and Dick Grayson wants to help them out a little bit, because Dick Grayson and Jason Todd go, you know, long years ago when they were saying who's going to be Robin, and I could see like that brotherly connection between Dick Grayson and Jason Todd. And you have Dick Grayson who wants to help out with the circus act, and you see he gets a little with Artemis, kind of, with Bizarro's bizarre relationship also. And there's this thing going on underground where the I almost said Teen Titans. The Outlaws are going to attack him, and the operative person, I can't remember what his name was, and they had the upper hand. Nightwing comes in and saves the whole thing. Just want to show this picture right here of Nightwing. And I really like how they work as a team, but I understand that Nightwing has this way of working by himself and everything, but it wouldn't really hurt if you want to work with the Outlaws, because maybe it could change Jason Todd's way a little bit. Probably.
Nightwing worked with the Outsiders for a while.
Alright, well, he could work. Doesn't hurt to try the Outlaws. But it's an annual, so yeah.
Just throw this out there. Darkseid Oversized Special one-shot came out this week. I've still yet to really have time to read it. This is kind of more of my guilty pleasure. There are a lot of the New Gods books that came out physically. There's the Mr. Miracle 12-issue maxi series. The only reason I got Darkseid is because he is one of the known villains for Superman on and off again. And it's a nice story. It's about this rebellion, or this girl that rebels against Darkseid and wants to save Apocalypse from Darkseid. I like it. There's another story about Omak in here. And then, of course, just like all the other books, you get a reprinted story of, I don't know the reprinted story because I haven't had a chance to read it yet, but I believe it involves the All-Seeing Eye, which isn't Darkseid per se, it's more the New Gods. I enjoyed it. It's a really nice one-shot. If you're a fan of the New Gods, you're already reading this. If not, if you're a fan of Darkseid, you're reading this. If not, then you skip this book out completely. But for $5, you get 3 stories. You get Omak. You get a story involving Darkseid and a rebellion against him, which is the first story. I said those out of order. And then you get a reprinted story with the New Gods. You can't go wrong.
Last book for me is Justice League of America issue number 13, Panic in the Microverse, where we find out that the guy who was under the hood attacking them was Prion, which is this person right here. And there's just like a whole thing where they're talking about where Professor Palmer might be in some microverse world. Yeah, Black Canary and Ray, who's facing this guy at the bar and everything. Artwork was drawn pretty good in this issue for this one. And you have Killer Frost, Batman, Lobo, and Ryan that are trying to look for this professor. Then you have another person that's the real Aaron Ort, if that's how you say the name, that just saved their lives because of what happened here. So the only way that they can get Professor Palmer back on the heart of is to go through the heart of Gaza. So Ryan has to go in a micro side of himself. Killer Frost and him have a nice romantic moment there. And now he's going to be going into the heart of Mosga and maybe find out answers more of Professor Palmer and where he is. We don't know. But, yeah. So, it was a pretty good book. Average.
Alright, Supergirl Annual number 1, or a 0.5 to the issue we already got this month, because this basically continues the story that we got in the issue at the beginning of August, leading into the issue we're going to be getting in the beginning of September sometime. It just continues the story where Emerald Empress gives her background, explains why she's going after Supergirl, the creation of the Fatal Five, the introduction of other characters, Mayhem, not Mayhem, oh my god. Indigo. The introduction of Indigo. Emerald Empress breaks into Sword, steals a video of Supergirl talking with her dad to turn the people against her. It works. Supergirl still suffering with her powers from that bullet shot that she got from the Fatal Five. She goes to, oh my god, I forgot where it was, the place that it was called, Scabbard? I guess. It's a secret base where it has that woman that was helping Superman out back in the New 52. And she helped stop the growth of Supergirl's powers because this gun was expanding and expanding on her strength and her powers to the point where she'd explode. So she operates on Supergirl, ends up stopping the growth of Supergirl's powers. However, Supergirl, wherever she's at right now, is where she's staying. So she's a lot stronger and a lot more powerful than she was before the bullet shot. But now Supergirl has to deal with Emerald Empress and the rest of the Fatal Five. And the book ends off where Emerald Empress explains all the stuff she's doing to destroy Supergirl to stop the future from happening, where her father dies because of a dumb fight.
Hilarious.
I know, right? Because of a dumb fight that happens between Supergirl and her, and Emerald Empress's father is the casualty. Indigo becomes the superhero of tomorrow instead of Supergirl. The Enchantress and Gog are attacking the facility where Supergirl was just at. Cat Grant was screwed with, so now we'll see if that gets fixed. And Superman, apparently through magic, is no longer he can't see what's going on with Supergirl, and the issue ends where it looks like Emerald Empress is about to destroy Cyborg Superman. Basically, Kara's father, once and for all, to be continued. My gripe with this book is it doesn't feel like an annual. It just feels like an oversized issue continuing the main story. When it comes to annuals, I expect like what Mike's annual was. Michael's annual was a one-shot story that took place in its own book. It was a self-contained book, and that's it. Supergirl's story was a continuation of the main story. Now, Kat and I, we had a kind of a difference of opinion when it came to annuals. She liked that it continued the story. Me, I like when it adds to the story, or when it's its own standalone in-book, story. I like an annual that's its own standalone story and book. For me, I was hoping that Supergirl would get a standalone story and book. I know we're in the middle of this story arc right now. Maybe they have to speed the Supergirl story along. I don't know. But personally, I would have rather have gotten a standalone story for the $5 instead of a double-sized issue, continuing and pushing the story even further forward. So instead of putting this annual at the end or beginning of my Supergirl pile now, I put it right where in between the last 2 issues of Supergirl. So, I mean, to each their own. I'm okay with the story continuing, but at the same time, when I get an annual, I kind of want its own story or a background or something else. At least that's the way annuals were. Then again, new Rebirth annuals for DC sometimes do continue the main story. So, pick and choose. But that's the last book for this week, and that's the end of this week's Dark Avenger comic book review. This was a video this week. It's late. Hopefully, we will be on time. No, we will be on time next week, Monday. Live show, 9:30, 10 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We got a lot of books, I believe, coming this week. They came out already yesterday. I believe they're shipping a day later because of Labor Day. So let's hope they don't get here super late. But anyway, we'll have our books. We'll be doing the review once again. Don't forget, I have a Discord. Comic Frontline has a Discord. Comic Frontline, your #1 source of comic-related news, reviews, and a whole bunch more. You can go over to the YouTube channel, subscribe there. If you're new to my channel, hopefully you click that sub button. I do 1 review every single week for this channel, as well as there's the Dark Avenger podcast, which I'm working on as we speak. Got a lot of comic stuff coming out on Frontline. Got a lot of gaming stuff going on Frontline Gaming Zone and my Twitch. My Twitch was officially affiliated or has officially joined the affiliate program. So now I can have subscribers. People can give bits and whatnot. I'm very excited about that. I'm very happy. So for those of you that like gaming, go over to my Twitch. Go over to Frontline Gaming Zone. We're doing Destiny 2, which dropped this week. We did it yesterday. We're going to be doing it on Friday before and after Dark Avenger Live tomorrow. It's going to be a big day. We might actually even have Dark Avenger Live. No, we're going to be doing Dark Avenger Live. What am I saying? And you're probably seeing this on Friday. So it's tonight, 9:35 p.m. Eastern Time. But anyway, thank you guys so much for being here. Feel free. Now it's your turn. This was a video, not a live stream. So feel free to leave your comments below. Likes, dislikes, agree, disagree. Let us know recommendations if you have any recommendations. I know Heathen was recommended to me. I'm thoroughly enjoying the first trade paperback already. I have to finish that, read issue 5, and then I should be caught up. Or I might start when the next story arc starts and just continue to casually read the book until we get to that point. Thank you guys. Take care. Keep reading, keep collecting. And we'll see you guys really soon in the next video.
Hey, everybody.